Hi, Mike from Dirtydog here. We are going to show you today how to install a set of roll bar covers from Dirtydog 4x4. What you will have to do first is remove the old ones, the old factory ones. There's a couple ways you can go about doing this. There are a few things you're going to need to remove it. You're going to need yourself a 10mm socket and either a socket wrench or a driver to remove the soundbar. A couple of other items that it's optional how you want to take them off. If you're not going to reuse your factory covers, they're in rough shape and you're never going to put them back on, you use places around the rear seat belts, you can cut them off, and ours can go on without having to remove the rear seat belt post. And I'll show you where that is. It's in the back here. Here's a rear seat belt post. It's a 50mm Torx bit. You're going to need a big wrench and probably an impact gun or a large a driver to pull this off. It's not easy to pull off, so this is why we've made it so you can just cut them off. Our new ones go on around it. As more for you mechanics that want to be able to pull them off, you can pull them off. But for our intents, the purposes, we're just going to cut them off, and we'll show you how we take them off, but we're just going to cut them off. And the other thing is you're going to need a slotted screwdriver to take out the light over the rear seat. And on that, well, let's get started and we'll see how to go. All right? If you want to go with the option of removing these rear seat belts, you're just going to pull the plastic bracket off like that. The 50mm Torx bit, and you're just going to, we've already loosened this one off. It can be quite an effort to get it off sometimes, so you're just going to loosen her off, get her out. If you don't want to go to this effort of taking this off, you can just cut your old roll bar covers off to get around the bolt and get them off. Ours don't require this to install. You can have it in place when you install. So that's just how that part works. All right. Okay. The next step here is we're going to show you how to remove this light in the back. It's very simple to do. The part of which you push to turn the light on and off. This is where we're going to basically put a little prying tool. We just got a little screwdriver here, slotted screwdriver. We're just going to put it in there, pull it open, so it pulls open like that. So you're just putting a little pressure, pull it open, and the light itself. Once you pull that open, the light itself will just drop down. And uses a little plug for which you grab on either side of the plug. You can leave this on, or it's easier to take this off to put the new one on. So in order to pull the plug out of this, basically there's a little plastic, it catches on the inside here. Just lift it a bit and your plug comes out. Now your plug's hanging free, and we'll show you how that reinstalls after. Okay, now we're going to remove the soundbar. The soundbar is held on with 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and the same on the other side. So you got a midpoint one here, and you got 2 on either side. This is where you're going to use your 10mm socket, and you either use a drill driver or a ratchet to get these off. So we're just going to pull those off right now. Now, as you can see, you're loosening it. It's going to start dropping down on you. Some of you, depending on which version you'll have, some of them you'll have a small plastic clip that actually screws into will push into the roll bar. Newer models don't have them, so depending on the year you have. Sometimes what I like to do is leave one bolt partially installed until I get all of them out. So you can take one of them, put it in, and if you got someone with an extra set of hands to help you. So hold one in one place, and I'll go around the other side, do the other 3, and then just take them out piece by piece. I've let the driver's side drop down first, and I'll come around, and now this was just loose. There is a wire here that plugs into the speakers in, so just have to be careful when you let this down. Finish letting this one out. Again, if you have extra hands to help you with this, it makes it a lot easier. So, and there's a plug here, which that plug comes out. There's a squeeze tab. I'll show you on this one. And again, it's different on a couple model years, but there's a squeeze tab. Let me show you here. Right there that you got to push on while you're trying to pull the plug out. So just work on to get it out. Once I get that, that's your toughest part, is getting this out. Once you get this out, you can put it down, leave it on the seat, out of your way. That's the hard part. The easy stuff is ready to go from here. All right. So let's start unzipping. You'll see zippers all the way along, zippers and Velcro, and we'll start pulling all that off right now. So we've removed the rear section. We'll take that out. It does come off. It does come off in 3 pieces. You have a rear section, sort of an H shape, and then 2 individual front pieces. One other little thing you got to do on the front one, again, make things a little easier to get off. We'll loosen that off. There's one zipper. Undo your one zipper all the way. Okay. There is one plastic clip underneath this front trim piece. You can pull it all out till the plastic clip comes clear and pull the piece away. And what that does, that plastic clip kind of goes to this hole here. Again, we've made it so that you just want to cut this off. You don't have to pull the plastic clip out, because what you got to do now is line the clip back up, lock it back in place. Again, ours, you don't have to worry about that. Once it goes back on, you won't have to worry about that clip. You can either cut it off, or you can do what I did there, just pull it down and slide it out and then put it in. So we'll do the other side and get that done. So we've got both sides off now. Now we're ready to do the full install. Also, these plastic pieces, there's foam pieces that are all the way around. Those stay on. Sometimes the glue or adhesive comes undone. Just to put them back on temporarily, hold them in place. Once your roll bar cover's on, they'll stay in place, but you may put a little piece of masking tape to hold them in place. Sometimes they start to fall off, but you leave those on because they go on with our roll bar covers as well too. All right? All right, now that we've got all the old roll bar covers removed, everything we need taken off is taken off. We're now going to start installing. We'll start at the back first. There's 3 pieces in your kit: front, left and right front pieces, and then the one big piece in the in the back. It's an H shaped. So let's start with that installation first. So we're just going to hop in the back here. The easiest way you can do this however you want to get access to it. You got access to the back, it's perfect. So you're going to grab it. There's your cutout for your light. You're going to put that over top in this direction. Swing the sides around. And there's one long zipper across the back here. And it starts on one side. Depending on how they sewed it, the zipper could start on one side or it could start on the opposite side. Just find the start, get it installed. You have to play with it a bit to get it on. Get it wrapped up. Your cord for your light, push that through the hole, and just run your zipper across. Again, everything should be, you don't need to force anything, you don't need to force the zipper. If you have to pull the zipper, it means you're not positioned properly, so you really get everything positioned. Sometimes just back it off a bit, get your zipper run across, and then you just got to work the material, keep pulling the material in there, then that's going to close. Now, what I do until I get everything installed, I'm just going to back the zipper off. Once I've installed it, once I know where to position, I back the zipper off about a foot, because what happens is it makes it easier getting the other zippers lined up and installed. One thing with our material that's different from factory is a stretch knit. And any of you that have had yours in the sun for length of time, you know within a couple of years they turn this purple-brown color because it's got that stretch and it's not designed to withstand the sun. Ours isn't a stretch material. It's typically like an awning material where it's going to withstand the sun for 5, 6, 7 years. It's not going to fade on you. What we give up on that is stretch. So we really have to customize the fit to get it to fit properly. So you've got to really work with the material to get it because it really doesn't stretch. So that's why you're going to see the initial installation. You're going to be fighting with the zippers a little bit. Once you get it installed, you won't have to take them off again anyways, but it'll take some time. So we're going to go now to the sides and start installing the zipper sides. You got a zipper up here. You got a flap like this. This flap is going to come over. This is where you can tug on the material itself, not on the zippers or some of that. Tug on the material and get it pulled across and wrap it up. And you're going to try to line up this zipper with this zipper in the bottom. Again, if it's giving you a hard time, you can't line it up, give the material a tug. Just give it a good tug, get it positioned, lined up so it's easier to work with. Your zipper started? Okay. Okay, so that zipper's on. I'm not going to zip it all the way up, partially up. We'll leave this bottom piece done. We'll go to the other side now and do the zipper on the other side. Again, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give it a good tug, get top and bottom, get it pulled over, get our zippers lined up. There we go. That one's done up. I'll close that zipper all the way. So now we're going to go do the sides of the bottom piece. Or there's a zipper at the bottom here. That one's done. If you have a soft top, you're going to have this Velcro flap here where the bracket is going to be over the bracket. If you don't have the soft top bracket, you're just going to close the Velcro closure there. And then there's a snap at the top here, and this goes underneath the seat belt post, and snaps on the side here. Actually, we'll close the zipper off first, bring everything back in. Let's finish closing the zipper off first. There we go, now we can put that snap in place. There we go. So that's in. Again, everything just sit loose for now. We're gonna go back and we'll readjust everything after it gets in. Same thing on this side. Zipper up. Snap. Okay, and this Velcro, this zipper we can finish closing off. There's a little Velcro closure here. Help tighten that there. Tuck in any loose fabric. Okay, so that's your back piece installed. Relatively simple. As you can see, we have a winner on the seat belt, no problem. We'll go now and we'll install the front pieces on, and then we'll go back to putting in the soundbar and the light fixture after. Okay, let's move to the front. Okay, so we have a left and right on these pieces, and they should have a left and right tag on. This one doesn't, but a good indicator is on the flap side on this big, nice round piece flap. There's a cutout for the power cord for the speaker bar, so you'll know that's where that cutout is. So this is a little awkward putting it on when you first put it on. So what we're going to do is you're going to grab it. You've got the right side. You're going to see this where the big square cutout hole is. This square cutout goes to the front here where the where your bracket or your door surround goes. So you're going to wrap it around. There's a zipper on this piece that starts on the inside. So we're just going to line up the zipper ends. So now what you're going to have this bracket here, and you have actually the extra piece of fabric. Once you get it zipped all up, push it back, zip it up. You're going to tuck the excess fabric underneath this plastic trim. Just sort of force it under there and slide the fabric through, so it pushes it all the way up. You want to make sure the fabric is always underneath any of the rubber components. You don't want it sitting on top like that. You want to make sure it's tucked underneath and tucked inside. Same on the inside, same on the outside. That's tucked in there. So that's that front part put on. So now the rest of the piece has to go on. And this is a little tricky, so I'm going to try to do this because on both sides of the doors you're going to see here. So what we're going to do, come from this side. You're going to grab it from the inside, from the front. So we're going to grab it from the inside here, from the front, and we're going to pull it around and bring the flap over. And just dress it over there for right now. What you've got to do first is underneath this plastic trim, is you got to feed in the fabric of it gets tucked underneath the fabric trim, so or the plastic trim. So you just got to feed it in, and you got to run on the front side as well too. Get it fed in, so it's underneath the plastic trim. You don't want it over top; it's not going to fit for you. Takes a little bit of work to get it worked in. So that's in there. So we got it tucked in. Now this piece just folds over like this. Again, you're just going to sort of drape it over top. And we're going to hop inside here. And the other zipper, which starts, you can see this here. See where I got the zipper on the inside? It starts, and it's just going to zip along and close up. Get her in. Zipper started. And pull it across. Now this power cord for the speaker bar just goes to that little cotton material, and that you're going to finish zipping it across. It's a little tight when you get to the end here. Just keep pulling your zipper to the end, and basically you have the fabric sitting here. So what you're going to have to do is, when you go to put the soundbar on, you're going to twist a little bit here to get things lined up. These cutouts in the bottom are for your screws to go through the whole soundbar. There's also, if you have the plastic clips, there's the push through for the plastic clip as well too. So this all kind of gets pushed forward when the soundbar goes on. You'll have to work, we'll show you how to work that, manipulate that as you're putting the soundbar back on. So now make sure you're tucked in properly behind the trim piece here. I see I'm not, I come out. So we're just going to pull the trim piece again. Make sure we're tucked in behind there. Now one thing you want to make sure is on the top here, you're going to go over top. This piece wraps over. There's Velcro on the front piece that it sticks to, that you're just going to wrap the Velcro around, and it's going to stick to it. Now what you don't want to do is there's some rubber trim on the top here. You want to make sure you're not over top of that rubber trim, because that's where the soft top and hard top seal against. So you make sure behind any of the rubber trim you're not sitting over top of it. You need to fold the fabric to get it out of the way, just to make sure that you're not hitting it. That's all you have to do, is push that away there and put your Velcro, hold your Velcro in place. So we can position this after we get the soundbar packed back in. We'll reposition everything to make sure everything is put in correctly. So we got that done. So we'll worry about adjusting it out until we get to the other side finished. So we're going to do the same thing we did on this side to the other side now. So we've got our roll bar cover installed now, both sides. Now we'll go through, do the finishing of it. We've got to put in our light back in and our sound bar back in. So it's we'll start working that, and then we'll adjust the fabric and get it fitting the way we want it to fit. Okay, now we're on to the tricky part of reinstalling the light fixture and the roll bar speaker. So on the light fixture, just to show you how the back works here, there's these little tabs. And when you close the fixture up, when it goes in, it pushes these tabs, and this is what holds the light to the frame. So just to show you how it works. So when you're putting this in, you got to make sure these tabs face inside as you're putting them in. They kind of tendency to move sometimes, but just make sure they're all squeezed in when we're going to put in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the electrical back in. So put the plug back in, like so, with the snap in place, and then make sure your tabs are all closed. Line it up in the hole, and you're going to have to sort of move it around a bit to get it lined up. Again, make sure your tabs are pushed in and get it so it's sitting in there. Sorry, I put it on the wrong way. This is the way it came off. Wrong way, the door opens this way. So again, we're going to put it in there. Okay. Once you feel like it's in there flat, you get it pushed in nice and tight, and you're just going to carefully close the door. It should just close in, and you know it works when you switch, open and closes, and it's mounted back in. So that's your light reinstalled. If it doesn't work the first time, take it out, do it again, and you should get it mounted in like that. That's good. All right, the next step we're going to do is reinstall the soundbar. This is a bit of a daunting task to do it on your own. If you have an extra hand, this is when you want someone to help hold up one side while you're putting the screws on the other side. I'm going to show you the one-person job. We're just going to use a ratchet strap just to hold it in place, relatively get it set in place. So I'm just going to hop in the car here, hop in the Jeep with it on. First thing I'm going to do is throw in your outlet, your plug for your speaker. Now I'm going to put my piece up in place. Throw my strap around. Get it hold it in place so I get my that's relatively held in place while we get lined up with a bolt. There, I made that look easy, didn't I? Don't want to tighten these right up. You still want some room to move them around. So now that we've got those ones installed, we can come back out here and do our ones on this side. So this is where you're going to have to find your holes. And sometimes at the back there's one zipper off to find this rear hole. And again, different sound bars have different features on them. Some of them have a push tab or a plastic push tab. Put them in. Okay, get that one started. This one here, same thing. You're gonna have to sort of move the fabric around. That's why I say don't fully tighten them up until you can see all the screws in place. Okay, get that. Go to the other side. Put the zipper back a bit. Okay, now that we've got them all in loosely, make sure our fabric's sitting flat, tucked in properly, and we're just going to go through. Don't forget you do your inside ones here. Strap off, and we'll go around and do the other side. Roll bar covers installed. Go around, take a look at anywhere where the Velcro is sitting properly. Now you can adjust it out. You put your soft top brackets back on. That's where the holes are cut out there for the soft top users. And again, make sure nothing's hitting around when you're putting your hard top back on, or your soft top or your bracket. Make sure nothing's sitting on the rubber seals up here on both sides. As it sits in the sun, some of the wrinkles will come out and they'll sit flatter, and that's it. So that's your install. It's a little bit more work of all the stuff that's out there, but that we make. But now that you've seen the video install, gives you decide, makes you the decision if you want to do it yourself or bring it to a professional to have it done. All right, have a great day.